Shalom to the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Hate evil and love the good.
Holy lineage, stuck on this earthly pilgrimage, lost our will to live. The kingdom's at hand, place of biz because of mental explosion, brain corrosion, collecting heads and Romans, awaken
That he's going to put prophecy in Ezra's mouth. And it said
the chosen, while the universe stands frozen, the prophecies start unfolding, exploding. While the whole world sleeps, the shepherds are lost, sheep creep deep to the golden gates. It's Esau, the Lord hates from crimes of thievery to even murder and rape. Because the rapes watch them like grapes, while these fakes that perpetrate. My people, there's no equal in this. We do the Deuteronomy 7 and 6. I know it's hard like bricks, but don't trip, we got the kingdom coming. No more slumming and bumming, the Lord's coming. Busting through, reach St. John 4 and 22, and guess who? The Lord's got a sword for, settle the score. All you heathens hit the floor. See these 12 stars, defenders of the law. Tiger wasn't up to par for this. Scandalous, murderous, evangelists who's girded up, ready to die for the words of the script. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel, you heard this, tuck tail and bell. Your rhymes are trail. You stepped in the zone when we excel. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons.
like you said, everybody got an opinion, right? But not according to wisdom and understanding.
I pop my collar like small.
Yeah, you got two choices, man. Take the blue or the red pill. Take the blue pill, stay your ass in the world and keep on eating microwave dinner. You wanna take the red pill? You can come out and wine and dine with me. It's a mouth, man, let's do it. I got a Kevlar mind with Teflon rhymes, antidote to venomous minds that decline the truth. Trapped in a box, thoughts locked, programmed to be spooked. I'm on some lynch mob shit, Bucky Devil programmed to shoot. And got some steel at the tip of my boots just to regulate. We can get it all night and morning, just name the date. And don't hesitate, being a gangster ain't no good if your thoughts is featherweight. I don't care who got the best team, I'm here to drop the word and keep it moving like jet streams. The luster green got my niggas moving like dope fiends. You gotta see the picture, but it ain't made for flat screens. Lemur Park and Skid Row was where he's last seen. Survivalist with holy water filled in his canteen. The boogeyman's here to put an end to American dreams. I'm out of sight of extraterrestrial being. Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill, shook the snakes and the demons, keep it moving like a tracks on a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Heavyweight Solomon jewels, I use knowledge to rule. Rejecting wisdom is the acts of a fool. Christ is king, born to rule, let's take him to school. Open up the sword, baby, let it do what it do. Simple as that, Van Helsing the rap. I swing lefty when I'm holding the bat, righty when I'm holding the cat, man. On the highway to heaven, dipping out in the fast lane. I let my hair grow, OD'd on Rogaine. Spit the hot shit, taking shots of propane. SOJ created our own lane. Patient for a queen, got no time for a dumb dame. Nowadays to be heard, I gotta be rude and profane. Dumb down my knowledge, make me look like I'm some lame. It's a trip of niggas with chump change, be so vain. It's the principle of truth, IQAhmath his first name. Come on. Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill, shook the snakes and the demons, keep it moving like a tracks on a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Yeah, okay, so understand what I'm putting out there. Red pillars only, okay? You wanna take the blue pill, microwave, popcorn your ass to death, go ahead. You know, I ain't got time for that, man. I'm too focused for that. The soldiers that I roll with is too focused for that. So if you wanna get down, get your mind right, come and holler at me, you know? Because when your Howard Shah comes back, it's a rap like a gypsy mummy. A lot of these heathens wanna trip and act a fool. I thug it out for the Lord, and I don't need no tattoos. We drop bombs with the Bible while you stand there baffled, looking like you seen a ghost. I'm with the Lord of hosts. Still keep a hood, crack the yak, and we can take a toast. Cheers.
Excuse me. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. While you have a side, it's your brother IQAhmath. IQAhmath, first name IQ. It's all the same. You reach another episode of DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. That's right. If you've been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. But if you have not, don't get too close because you might get shot. Shabbat shalom to the families in the house, man, and those that will be joining us as the day progresses. Shabbat shalom to you. Peace, welcome, all that other good stuff, man. Salute to the families in the house. We got Hashemai in the house, of course. Ashar in the house, of course. Uziel, Shalom, of course. Brother Hosai and the brethren out there in Jamaica, man, pray for you guys as well. Rosemary out there in London, shalom to the fam out there. Kohav, shalom. Kohav, I need to chop it up with you, man. Hey, how are things for you out there, man? You know, I'm gonna cover what's going on in that Midwest, man. Chicago, Indiana, them tornadoes and storms, the flooding, all that other good stuff, man. You all right, bro? Drop a little update in the comments, man. Let me make sure the Most High watched over and protected you. AZ in the house. Shalom to the house in the quad. Brother Ron in the house. Shalom to you, good brother. Al-Dad in the house. Shalom, shalom. And as the rest of y'all compile in here, man, shalom to you, man. Saluting all the saints on this blessed day of the Lord, man. Prayerfully, everybody's doing all right. As times are becoming more challenging by the day, man, prayerfully the Most High is watching over, protecting and blessing everybody that's been tuning in. And even if you're not, the 12 tribes scattered abroad, man, we got to look out for everybody. That's fearing the Most High, keeping the faith of Christ, and keeping the commandments. That's essential. That's essential. Thus saith the Lord. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Sister Hadessa, shalom to you, sis. Breaking news, man. Anton's prophecies are happening daily, not every so often. Last year, once a year. No, it's almost daily at this point. Every week, we constantly are seeing more things that should make you go, oh, wow. Did you hear about that? Did you see that? Did you know this happened? If that's not in or part of your conversation on a weekly basis, even daily basis, then you're not looking. You're not looking. You're not paying attention. Let's get to a couple of scriptures and let's start this thing off right. Let's open up that way. Let's open up with Sirach 5 first. If that's not part of your conversation, then something is wrong. Look at this. Sirach 5:15 says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small." So ignorance is never an excuse. Ignorance is not bliss. The Lord said that we can't be dumbed down. We can't be blind. We cannot ignore anything, whether it's great or if it's small. Nothing to be refused, nothing to be not acknowledged. Everything that the Most High does is all an acknowledgement of his power, his movement, his spirit that's upon the earth. And if we take it lightly and act like things aren't of the Most High, or we're not paying attention to what the Most High is doing, then we're not tapping in and we're not locking in with what our power is doing. So it said ignorant is not an excuse. So, just to compound what we're seeing here, I'm going to get a couple more scriptures just to show that when things are starting to happen almost at a rapid succession that they are right now, you've got to take notice. Matthew 24, we'll read 21 and 22. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever will be." So if Christ is forewarning us of tribulation that's going to be taking place within the earth, and he said there's not a time that you can actually recollect or that you can compare it to, or anything post this time, you got to take note of it. The fear of the Most High should be even more greater because he's letting it be known. And we've talked about it for weeks on end, years on end, regarding the particular tribulations and the things that we're going to be encountering moving forward. I mean, it's becoming even more crystal clear. And many of our people, as we'll discuss in a little bit, are already feeling the pinch and they're seeing these particular realities just based upon so-called natural disasters as they've been taking place, right? As we're seeing through war, as we're seeing through the manipulations of the food, as we're seeing the global control that our oppressors are trying to impose on us through biometrics and digital scannings and flock cameras and you name it. Everything is all lining up and being put into place. But guess what? Christ said this, and except those days should be shortened. So time is going to move back. It's going to be moving by faster. Can you imagine? We're already midway through, not even midway through, well, midway through this month, right? To the T, if this is the 15th of August, right? We just celebrated our sixth new moon a couple of days ago. We're well beyond halfway through 2026. We're on the latter end of 2026, embarking on close to 2027 in a mere 3 months. We're already being 2027. And the Lord said, these days got to be short, so time's got to be cut short. Why? It says, there should no flesh be saved. If we leave things in the hands of our oppressors, if we leave things that the way that they are, without divine intervention, without the power of the Most High coming and his Son, glory and grace coming through, nobody will survive the way that this white man's been running this earth. He is destined to destroy everything. He's destroyed the ozone layer. He's destroying the air, the water, the food, the earth itself. He's enacting all of these, these global catastrophes and world wars. Let alone if global warming is a thing, we don't acknowledge none of that because it's all of the Most High. You can see all of the catastrophes that's happening and the weather anomalies going on throughout the earth. Right? So it says, except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. So there's a reason why we're seeing all of these things happening in rapid succession, because the Lord said time is going to be cut short so that an elect can be saved, a remnant can be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So the world should be thanking the children of Israel and the elect and the remnant that is blessed to be saved, because otherwise everybody would be destroyed. Let's get that in Isaiah 10. Isaiah 10 and 22. It says, for though thy people Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. So this is always still centered around Israel. That's the elect. The Most High calls us the elect in Isaiah 45. So it says, for the elect's sake, time is going to be shortened, lest nobody would be saved. Nobody would survive. This thing would be a complete wrap. So you're welcome. If those of us are of the elect, that's what we pray for. That's what we labor for. That's what we engage our faith in. Because otherwise, this thing will be a wrap. But time is being cut short because why? That means that the remnant and the elect is being slowly but surely secured and sealed. And as we see things continually compiling faster and faster, that means we're getting closer to the goal. So it says, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. Right. So that's exactly what we're embarking upon, is the sealing of the elect, time being cut short, and things happening faster and faster. It's becoming hard to keep up with everything. Let's get to 2 Ezra 16. We're going to read 37. Let's see. Yeah, we'll read 37, 38. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Can we all agree on that? Put a 7 in the chat if you agree that the plagues that's drawing nigh, the judgments that the Most High is setting forth on the earth, they're not slack. Are things slowing down? Does it seem like does it become like a nice little calm and nothing's going on and everything's good? Or does it seem like things is happening in rapid succession? Are they not slack? Okay, I see some 7s in the chat. Okay, so obviously this is true. Ain't nothing being slack, nothing slowed down. There's nothing lacking right now. Plagues are not slacking. Verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son. So at the precipice of a woman being prepared to deliver that man child or that woman child, right? That child in the 9th month, she's labored and carried that seed for 9 months. From the weight gain to the mood swings to the stretch marks to the Braxton Hicks to the pains to the to the weird eating habits. You went through it all. The morning sicknesses, swollen feet, Imagine all of those things and related to what's going on the earth right now. We've gone through slavery, oppression, dogs sicked on us, tarred and feathered, quartered through by horses, land stolen, Jim Crow, redlining. We've seen it all. Intertribal warfare, drug abuse, domestic violence, police harassment, filling up the prison houses, prison industrial complex. We've seen it all. The poisoning of our food and waters, the airs. These are all the birth pains that are leading up to that deliverance. Excuse me. So it says, when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So yeah, once that what do they call it? Where they measure the diameter of the cervix, and it's opening more, and they're seeing how many, inches is it, and all of that. Like, that's what's happening within the earth. That's what's happening prophetically. That's what we're seeing right now. Slowly but surely opening more and more and more and more, so that the Son of Man can come through, bust through the clouds with the heavenly host of angels, with the chariots, to bring forth the miraculous redemption of the elect of the children of Israel, to set us back as the light and the rulers of the earth, with him being king forever and ever and ever. So it says, when them pains start coming, they're going to keep hidden and hidden and hidden and hidden and hidden, and they become more frequent, more painful, more discomforting. But guess what? Once you hear that, one more push, and the baby starts to cry and all that, you forget about it all. That baby then came forth. Now the mission has been accomplished. You hear the there you go, Oscar, the dilation. Thank you. You hear the whines, you hear the cries, you know that the success, and it was all worth it in the end. That's what we're laboring for. That's what we desire. Okay. So we're seeing the rapid success, and we're seeing the things happening daily. Let's look at some of these particular articles, man, and then we're going to look into a few more other scriptures and see how it is prophetic. So as usual, we're always going to start off with the thing that's most pertinent as it pertains to war, World War III, and everything else, right? Then this is off the Hormuz letter. I found this on X. Now, this is one thing, and me and Elder Ross, I was talking about this, I think, a week ago, where there was a statement that was made that said that Agent Orange was waving the white flag and said that he was going to succeed. The Strait of Hormuz says it's not that important. They can have it. We're cool. We're going to get on out of here. Now, clearly, we have to, analyze and see, well, who's saying what and what's true, what isn't. Right now, this is according to the Hormuz letter. This is a Iranian news site. And this is what they're saying. Breaking. Trump has privately admitted defeat and told senior aides he is willing to end the war without a nuclear deal if Iran fully reopens the Strait of Hormuz, a retreat from his initial unconditional surrender demand, per the Wall Street Journal. So according to the Wall Street Journal, and the Hormuz letter on X is reposting and saying that Agent Orange says he's willing to secede and you can have it. Just acknowledge that you won't create or have a nuclear weapon. And not even that. Just open up the Strait of Hormuz. That lets us know who's really desperate for that oil, who's really desperate to get their economy back on track. As much as he's running around talking about how much Iran is broke, they've broken down their economic systems. They don't have a Navy anymore. There's no Air Force anymore. They have their armies are depleted. Everything is all jacked up. The leadership is all destroyed. You would think that was a reality, but it's in reverse. Remember, everything that we're dealing with in this earth is like a twilight zone, as everything is reversed. Everything he's saying is exactly the state of affairs for America, and it's not for Iran. Remember, he said, what was it, at least a month and some change ago, They have 45 days left of strategic reserves of oil left. And after that, bedlam will begin. We just, last week, we seen that it was 45 days left of the emergency oil. That means the normal, supplies that we got and everything, that's already been depleted. They're already tapping into the savings and the reserves. And you only got a month and a half left. Now, that was last week. So that means we got till maybe next month to figure something out. So it would make sense for him to pop out and say, well, guess what? I'm willing to go ahead and get on out of here in the war. Just open up the strait, man. Get the oil flowing again. Get the supply chain moving back again. We're hurting over here. And do you think Iran is going to, cop to that? Now it says Trump has been laying the groundwork to declare victory based solely on Hormuz reopening, walking away from his initial promises to, quote, decimate Iran's nuclear program. However, Iran has raised its price for reopening the strait in the form of new demands, effectively turning what Trump hoped would be his exit into a full U.S. surrender document. So that, that's the games that they will play. They play the semantics. Esau will sit back and say, you know what? If they open up the strait, hey, we won the war. See, we got exactly what we wanted them to do. And America can walk away with their heads up high saying, we won. Knowing it's not a victory. They conceded and said, you can have everything you want. Please just open up the strait for us again. And it will be opened up on the conditions that Iran sets, not America. But he's doing double speak right now saying, oh, no, we've got complete control of the strait. Iran doesn't have anything going on. We'll open it when we decide. Huh? When you know the strait is a key point of the world's global economy, and you're saying that you control it. So, in other words, should the world be blaming America for the strait being closed and all of the hell that it's causing? But America's saying no, it's Iran's fault because they want. Like, do you see where they get caught in the lies? Because if he's sitting back lying, talking about they've got control of the strait, then that means that America is at fault for destroying the oil supplies, hurting their own people, hurting the world's economies, hurting the fertilizer and the economies of the farmers and the food supplies and the supply chains and all of that. Come on, man. Now it says Iran says those demands, they include $300 billion in compensation, the release of $100 billion in frozen assets, lifting all sanctions, U.S. troop withdrawal from the entire region, and an end to the naval blockade, and accepting transit fees on every ship. So in order for Iran to agree to this particular deal, this is what they want. $300 billion in compensation. Now remember, maybe about a month and some change ago, could be even 2 months ago, Trump was agreeing to this. Remember, he said he was willing to get him $300 billion after he was clowning Obama for giving him $400 million and clowning Slow Biden for giving him $6 billion. He's capitulating, saying, "I'll give you $300 billion," but lied and said that was going to be reinvested in American infrastructure and everything else. So they said, "Yeah, we still want that $300 billion you promised. Plus, you got $100 billion of our money frozen in assets from, precious metals to cash to you name it. We want that. Let go too. All the sanctions that you got, including depleted uranium research and nuclear power, we need that lifted too. We want all of y'all out of the region. Get the hell out of the Middle East. All U.S. troops out of here. That's including all the bases that y'all got lined up and all of these other, Arab countries from the UAE to Qatar to Kuwait they got to go. Shut down that naval blockade that y'all got and get up out of here. And we're going to be charging fees for every ship that comes through, so we can get paid in the future. Do you think America's going to cop to that? You think Trump is going to say, yeah, you know what? Everything that y'all want, you got it. No problem, boss. That's to let you know that this is not going anywhere. There's not going to be no end to this war. Let's continue. Okay, Iran defined on straight as Trump tells Americans to accept high gasoline prices. There you go. So if Agent Orange is saying, guess what? We're not going to capitulate to those demands. Americans, tighten up your belt buckle. It's going to be a rough ride, except the high gas price is not going down. Iran called on the U.S. to accept defeat on Saturday while President Donald Trump blasted Tehran as, quote, very evil and told Americans to prepare for continued high fuel prices as a result of the war. I thought he had control of the strait. They got full control, right? Isn't that what he said? The naval blockade is immovable and they can be there forever. That's the quote, is what he said. So when we're talking about, hey, this ain't going nowhere, strap up, get ready, y'all. This is real talk. He's already admitting, saying, accept how things are right now. It ain't going nowhere. Remember, he said he's been promising once the war is over, gas are going to go down to $2 a gallon. It's going to be great. I'm going to set everything back how it's supposed to be. And I can't tell. Now that he done doubled back and said, yeah, get ready for high gas. It's going to be this way. This is the new normal. Remember how slow Biden had the new normal with the 6 feet and the mask and getting poked in the arms and booster shots and people dying suddenly, falling out with heart attacks and myocarditis and everything. He said that was a new normal. Spying on your neighbor, tell a friend, don't touch me. The cash is contaminated. We need to go digital with everything. That was a new normal Slow Biden was pushing. Now economically, Trump is saying this is the new normal. Complete collapse. Progress toward peace talks and oil tanker traffic through the strategic Strait of Hormuz remain halted, with no sign the warring parties were moved toward ending the conflict that the U.S. and Israel launched on February 28th of this year. This strait will be open and closed only under Iran's command, and so long as you do not accept the reality of defeat and stop indulging in fantasies, Iran will continue to enforce the blockade. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Kazim Garibati posted on X. So, in other words, remember, Agent Orange said that the only way this is going to stop is if they kneel, bow down, and cry uncle. Now, Iran is saying the same thing. The only way the strait's getting back open is that America has to accept defeat and stop lying. And they can't stop lying. They're born that way. The Psalm 58 said the wicked go astray from the womb as soon as they be born speaking lies. So the fantasies will not stop. So this will continue. Iran insists the strait will stay closed until the U.S. agrees to the demand. So, again, that should let it be known that they're not going to be opening this thing up. Agent Orange is saying the quiet part out loud, and he's acknowledging by saying, hey, gas prices are going to stay high, y'all, because I'm not going to bow down. I'm not going to give in to these particular demands. So, in other words, man, we need to be prepared as best as you can regarding the changing of the economy. Some of these economic experts are saying that they expect a recession to kick in mid-2027. So in other words, maybe within a year from now, right? Let's get an idea so everybody can kind of understand. And we'll get right to let's look at this, recession, right? And it says a recession in economics is defined as a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy. So they expect a decline in economic activity. So when you're hearing about, I think it was 3,000 people get laid off at the Tyson plant. The thousands being laid off at the Volkswagen plant, thousands getting laid off at Amazon, thousands getting laid off at all these particular tech companies. And you say, oh, well, the AI is coming in, the robots is coming in. Yeah, that's one thing. But they're having to make these particular moves to reduce payroll, to reduce investments within 401ks and all the other stuff. Like they have to make these particular moves because These elites, corporation owners and all that, they know that progression in the economy is not happening. So they're cutting losses because they know recession's kicking in sooner than later. Technically, we're already in a recession. You see the shrinkflation going on with the, things you're buying at the grocery store. You're not getting the same amount of what you used to do. I did a short like 4 or 5 months ago. Some of y'all may have seen it. Um, some plantain chips that my wife bought for me. The bag was less than half empty. It was over half of the bag was air. You look down, you would swear I ate half of the chips. Brand new open. You can see the quality of the food has gone down. Companies are cutting shorts, taking shorts on ingredients, let alone, the preservatives and things that they're trying to, put in the food supplies in order to stretch it out. We bought some organic bananas a couple of days, maybe last week it was. It was green. I was like, yeah, they'll ripen up eventually. Buy them. It was ripe within a day. There was an elderly sister in a store yesterday, and she was like, I want to get some bananas, but they're all green. And I was like, look, sis, I just bought some bananas the other day. I said, they was ripe within a day or so. I said, so you might want to still get them. I said, just leave them out. Don't worry, they're going to be ripe in a few days because the food is going bad like this now. So they know that the economic activities are all going bad, right? So it says a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy, lasting more than a few months. So if Agent Orange is saying, get used to high gas prices, he ain't saying it's going to be rough for the next couple of months. No, he's saying this is the new normal. Typically visible in real GDP, real income, employment, and industrial production. There's no industrial production going on in America no more. America don't produce anything. Everything is imported. Everything is AI based. Nothing is being produced anymore. The innovation that America used to have is out of here. Unemployment, we know that. They just got talking about the job numbers were down. Unemployment was up. I think they said that the job numbers were down 23,000 jobs in July when they put out the new economic reports. Real income, there's viral videos of people on TikTok and all of that complaining about their paychecks. Everything that they get is going right out the window. Very similar to what the book of Haggai tells us. Let's read that. And I wish I had a couple of them videos. If y'all seen any of those videos where they, people going viral complaining about their paychecks, you'll know what I'm talking about. Haggai 1 verse 6, it says, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. So the state of affairs within the economic situation, the Lord told us, look here, verse 5, it says, now therefore thus saith the power of hosts, consider your ways. So if we think about, and I think maybe these people are just now actually pausing because they're realizing that the inflation that's happening to their dollar is not stretching like it used to. Beforehand, people were kind of blind to the fact that, the things that they were buying was going fast, or, their money wasn't stretching like it used to. Now it's obvious. Everybody's complaining. So they're going viral talking about, look, here's my paycheck. This is what I make. This is what I got to pay for it. I'm paying for that. By the time I'm done, I've got $3 left. And it's becoming a viral trend. But this is a lifestyle Israel been living for years on end, right? Over 500 years of being oppressed over here. Check to check, paycheck to paycheck, robbing Peter to pay Paul, loan here, payday loan there. That's what we've been living for who knows how long. The Lord said, ye have sown much and bring in little. You build and establish companies, corporations, you're establishing farms and agricultures, healthcare, home care. You know, we always say, man, if Israel decided to take a complete Sabbath, give us 7 days of rest, this country would collapse. Because we sow in, but we bring in a little bit. We only get a little piece of the pie, not even the crumbs. You eat, but you have not enough. We can't just spoil ourselves and get what we want to get. You know, all of these food deserts that's going on in the inner cities. You know, we've got to shop at the Food for Lessers. We got to shop at the Superior markets and the El Ranchero markets and all this other stuff. You know, the things that we want to get. You know, you want to go to the Whole Foods. You want to go to the Erewhons. You want to go to, and we can't afford them things. You eat, but you have not enough. So we get just enough to get by. We get enough to sustain. We get enough to be content. But many of us can't just go do a shopping splurge and fill up 2-3 carts of groceries and come in and say we got everything that we wanted. No, we get what we need and pray that the Most High sees us through this week and that we got enough to get some next week. You drink, but ye are not filled with drink. No, you know, people stressing. You can't drink from the tap. You got to constantly buy your filtered waters. And if you don't have, you know, if you don't have a filter system already, you know, within your home, you got to go buy the waters. Not filled with drink, you know. You clothe you, but there's none warm. And you earn wages, put in the bag full of holes, man. Everything that you get goes right back out. That paycheck that you get, guess what? Uncle Sam gets his piece first. In the form of taxes, in the form of Social Security, which is bogus because he's trying to get rid of Social Security by 2030, 2035. They're already saying that might go bankrupt. So all of us is working hard to say, you know, get my benefits by the time I retire. They might be broke and you may not get it. And then if you retire early, they give you less and all this other stuff, man. All the penalties, you're earning wages, they're put into a bag full of holes. So he's getting all of his off the top, disability, SSI, he's getting his taxes. Before you even know what you're going to get, he's already taken. He said, oh, that's what you grossed? Okay, I need that. I need mine off the top. You can have the rest. We so happy, man. Thank boss. I got paid. Did you get paid, or is your mortgage getting paid? Your rent getting paid? Your car note getting paid? Your insurance getting paid? Your medical bills getting the food, grocery bills getting paid? Your electric bill getting paid? Gas bill getting paid? Huh? Oh, I'm talking about gas for the house. Gas for your car, that's getting paid. Do you have anything left? Oh, your streaming services, your subscriptions, they're getting paid because you need a little escapism. You need a little entertainment from all the damn hell that you're going through. Everything that you just had to realize, I had to give up. Do you got anything left for emergencies? You got anything left for savings? You got anything left for? No. Why? Because you earn your wages and it's going into a bag full of holes. Now, let's get back. So when you see in these particular type of headlines, and people now are out here saying, damn, this is it. Oh, and did I forget? Oh, your credit card bills, you're paying those back. I mean, where is the prosperity at? Where are you getting this American dream from? They're already talking about me, you know, a certain percentage, and it's up there. It's above 50% of credit card debt. People are unable to pay their credit cards back. They're not paying them back. They're not paying, you know, car repossessions is up. Student loans, people are defaulting on the student loans. They can't pay them back. And Agent Orange says everything is great, right? So the reality is America is on the downslope. You can forget about it, right? Look at this. Now, because of that, the incidents that is going on with the war, we're not hearing a whole lot of activity going on as far as, you know, America, Iran, Israel trading shots at each other. As a matter of fact, that the small hats are over there being investigated for terrorism because the small hats is over there kicking out families living over there in Gaza and all that, taking over the land and terrorizing them and beating them up and telling them they're monopolizing the land, and there's all kind of madness going on over there, man. So not only do you see all of that, right? So we see what's going on in the Middle East. What's up with that? Where's the updates with that? Now, remember, I've been saying it for the past few years, let alone I updated it maybe about 2-3 months ago, where China said that they were going to invade if Taiwan didn't surrender and become back one with China again by 2027. China was going to push the button and invade. The last article that substantiated that was December of 2025. Then they came out in March or something like that and said, "Oh no, we're not going to do that. We'll be diplomatic about it," which clearly is a lie. Because what are we seeing now? As of August 13th, 2 days ago, Taiwan weaponizes the Coast Guard to prepare for battle with China. Anti-ship missiles and naval drills intensify Taipei's effort to improve defense and deter Beijing. So if Taiwan is weaponizing their Coast Guard and they're preparing for war with China, that means that China is obviously making moves to make good on their promise to invade and initiate war with Taiwan, who is an ally of America, who will be relying on America to help them. This is why you see Agent Orange over here begging for billions of dollars. Remember last week we had Pete Hegseth in the congressional hearing, and that Edomite woman, I forgot her name, was drilling and grilling him about him asking for trillions of dollars and endless wars, and saying, well, you said that everything is already taken care of. Like, y'all took out the nuclear facilities, you did all this and all that. Why are you needing all this money? Yeah, they need the money. He said, and they said for future. We need it for the future, long term. Which what? And it is admitting forever war. So they're slowing down because they're low on interceptor missiles. They're low on defense capabilities. They need to regroup. So they're posturing and sticking their chest out and talking crazy to Iran. Iran is just like, yeah, okay, say what you want, but you're not controlling the Strait of Hormuz. I know that much. I know we're getting money from the UAE, and we got our spending capabilities going through the BRICS with Russia and China. Like Iran's not starving for nothing. They already told Ukraine, hey, we can't help you right now, man. We got our own problems over here. Taiwan's gonna come begging next year saying, help, help. White Zaddy, help. China's getting at us. And America's gonna say, we can't help everybody. We ain't got it like that no more. Taiwan's given its Coast Guard an expanded role in national security as part of a defense strategy that is focused on keeping China's landing forces from reaching its shores and warning Beijing of the difficulties it will encounter if it invades. As part of the transformation, the Coast Guard cutter led 4 missile boats out of the port of the southern Taiwan city of Kaohsiung on Saturday, followed about 30 minutes later by naval deployment of mobile radars, missile launchers, assault boats, and drones, a drill illustrating how Taiwan will respond to a Chinese amphibious invasion. So we see that the Most High is stirring up the hearts of the kings. Remember, even in Revelation 16, it says that the kings of the East are going to make way for war. So we see all of this playing out. Now the Most High is controlling the hearts of these kings, man, riling them up, preparing themselves for conflict, for war. The end of diplomacy and talking, all that's out the window. And we're hearing about wars and rumors of wars, kingdom rising against kingdom, nation against nation. Right? Now look at this. Now this how you know, man. Esau be lying. But check what they're going to say.
The Trump administration says its naval blockade is taking a serious toll on Iran's economy and hurting its military and ability to finance its terrorist.
Now you hear him say that the Trump administration in this war is causing economic trouble for Iran and their ability to fund quote unquote terrorist groups. Who is under economic? Come on, man. Now, granted, Iran was already dealing with high inflation, economic issues before the war. So, in other words, to keep it real, ain't nothing changed for them. Who has it changed for though? Who's encountered greater change, Iran or America? I'll wait. It's just like you can go to Iran and ask people, man, how things been a year ago. They probably tell you, man, yeah, we're inspired, we're keeping the faith, but yeah, it's kind of hard economically, blah 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 blah. In America, they're painting the streets red. They talk about America, making America great again. You're hearing this guy talking crazy about how he's going to, make America affordable again. People out there still got jobs. Everybody's still doing their thing. You leave it to the black community. They out here, in the clubs. They out in the streets. They making money phones and they doing all. You would swear everything was great. Fast forward to now. You've got a complete divide with the MAGA movement. Everybody's got buyer's remorse. With electing this guy, they're all against the war. They're all talking about how the economy done changed. You've got multiple people that done left the administration. You've got the economy's failing. Gas prices is worse. Who's got it worse? Who's really economically being hurt by this? America then already came out and panhandled to Congress 3 or 4 times this year, asking for hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars to get back on track because they're losing, the war and the interceptors and everything else. I mean, who's really facing economic pressure? Let me let this go.
The administration says its naval blockade is taking a serious toll on Iran's economy and hurting its military and ability to finance its terrorist groups. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says even tougher measures are...
No, I'm sorry. He said that they're hurting Iran's finances for their military and their ability to fund. Who's coming to Congress begging for billions of dollars of budget? Because the cash is running low. Who's saying we're running low on munitions? All right.
Coming next week.
So it will be a combination of economic isolation like the world has never seen before and the continued blockade in the Strait of Hormuz that will keep anything from going in or out of the Iranian ports.
But the battle over the Strait of Hormuz is far from settled. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. Navy can maintain the blockade as long as necessary.
Indefinitely, the United States Navy can maintain a blockade like that because we'll rotate ships in and out as we have and will continue to.
President Trump says the U.S. has total control of the strategic waterway. Writing on Truth Social, "I think we will keep it." Iran disputes the idea of U.S. control, insisting the strait remains blocked until Tehran's conditions are met.
So if they've got total control, then who do we blame for what's going on? If Agent Orange just said, prepare for high gas prices from here going forward, did he not just tell on himself? If that's the truth. Now, we know it's not the truth, but that's the pride of Esau saying these things, right? That's Esau. Look, Psalm 64 and 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So either Esau is going to tell on himself and make himself guilty, or he's going to lie. Now, I'm pretty sure that they don't have control of the strait. However, he will lie and say that he got control of it, even at the expense of looking like a fool to say, we control the strait. And then you're going to sit back and talk about how much damage it's going to cause your own economy, how much it's going to damage the economy of your allied countries throughout the world. He's willing to lie that much where he say, well, I'll lie even if it makes it look like I'm the bad guy, because pridefully I want to say I'm in control. That's what we're dealing with, y'all. That's when we say he's the devil, that the Bible speaks, he's the deceiver, even at the expense of it making himself look bad. It's one thing when you lie to try to cover up and make yourself look good, or try to make yourself look, less aggressive or whatever. He will lie. He doesn't care. Let's get back.
The Trump administration says vessels belonging to Abu Dhabi's National Arab Emirates accusing Iran Strait remains blocked and control of the strategic waterway. Writing on Truth Social, I think we will keep it. Iran disputes the idea of U.S. control, insisting the strait remains blocked until Tehran's conditions are met. And there was more violence overnight, with the United Arab Emirates accusing Iran of attacking 2 vessels belonging to Abu Dhabi's National Oil Company. No injuries were reported. Vice President J.D. Vance says Washington's objectives remain clear.
I think this ends with the United States in a strong position, with Iran not having a nuclear weapon, and with the Strait of Hormuz returned to a place where oil and gas prices are stable for the American people.
Meanwhile, Israel is closely watching another front. Surveillance soldiers along the Gaza border are reportedly warning of armed terrorist activity inside the Strip.
Well, clearly that's a lie. He said that's what he thinks is going to happen, but we just seen his commander-in-chief, his boss, tell them, yeah, the oil is not going to be going back to normal. Gas prices are going to be up for good.
Raising painful memories of warnings before October 7th that went unheeded. And in Judea and Samaria, Israeli and American officials are condemning violence by Israelis against Palestinians as Israeli security forces move against those accused of illegal actions.
We are opposed to violence. We believe that the authorities and only they should take whatever action is necessary rather than others. That is not right, and it causes immense damage.
From Iran to Gaza and Judea and Samaria, Israel and its allies are facing multiple flashpoints as Washington tries to pressure Tehran without widening the war. Joshua Swanson, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And now you see here where it acknowledged that these heathen over there in Judea and Samaria, our lands, right, committing crimes, terrorism, squatting in our lands, man. I mean, look. Psalm Isaiah 1 and verse 7. Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land strangers devour it in your presence. When you read about Judea and Samaria, you're talking about the northern and southern kingdom of the lands that was ours. And they're over there doing investigations, talking about violence is happening over there. They're being aggressive, committing crimes. This is all, this is what we're seeing prophetically taking place in real time. Your country is desolate, your cities are burned with fire, your land, strangers devoured in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. Now, check this out. They're talking about how America is going to be economically, how they're economically squeezing Iran, right? They're talking about how much Iran is, military is broke. And do you see that? That's not a meal from San Quentin. That's not a meal from Delano. That's not a meal from Rikers Island. That's not a meal from what's the one down there in the prison down there in Louisiana, the chain gang, one of the worst in the world. Oh man, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Oh man, what's it? Angola. It is not a meal from Angola, right? You know what that's from? The USS Abraham Lincoln. This is what they've been feeding the sailors over there. They talking about, man, these sailors was jumping overboard, you know, toilets breaking down, food rationings. Who's broke? Trump's callous response as U.S. sailors throw themselves overboard in the Iran war and grim photos of food emerge. Do you? Who knows what that brown slop is right there? Who knows what that mystery meat is? There's not even enough food to fill the last little compartment that they can eat. Donald Trump brushed aside mounting alarm over conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, even as accounts pile up of desperate sailors trying to go overboard during the record-shattering Iran war deployment. Now, can you imagine? This war has been going on for 6 months. 6 months. And this is how bad America is. This is where it's at now. They're eating scraps and rations. They're begging for more money. Their interceptor missiles and everything else has been damn near depleted. America's internal economy is collapsing. And they think that they can sustain a major world war. This is what Iran. Mind you, and you got Israel helping you. So you are packing out Iran and you still catching L's. You've made no progress with control of the Strait of Hormuz, getting the economies back on. None of the above has happened. They're taking L after L, and then they use the media. They use their talking head, mockingbird, parrots on TV to go out there and lie for them and tell you everything is okay. They'll use AI. They're using anything that they can to put out these fake narratives that act like they're in complete control when America is a complete collapse, man. All praise to the Most High, because that's what the Most High said is going to happen. If Ecclesiastes 10, I believe in 19, says that money answereth all things, let's get there real quick, because clearly, America don't have no answers to that. Ten and 19, a feast is made for laughter. Nobody's laughing on that. Nobody's laughing on that USS Abraham Lincoln, because they ain't feasting. They not eating. These cats are jumping off the damn boats because they're frustrated, because their mental health is deteriorating, because they're back questioning and having deep regret for even thinking that they can be all they can be, and thinking that, joining the military, joining the Navy was going to help accelerate them in the earth, or because their families are all military families and it's a tradition that you go in. Now you're fighting a war that you don't agree with. You're going onto a damn boat that you've been sitting on for 6 months. All the supplies are now dwindling. Everything's all jacked up. You dig what I'm saying? Like, they're all saying, why did I do? What the hell? I'm out of here. So they ain't laughing. And wine maketh merry. They ain't they ain't drinking no damn wine over there. Nobody's merry over there. And it says, but money answereth all things. That's why Heg Breath and Agent Orange, orangutan is over here capitulating to Congress saying we need billions, we need more money. Meanwhile, you got a $300 million project building a damn ballroom. You've made billions of dollars since you've been in office for the last, however long it's been, over a year and a half. He ain't even been a full 2 years yet. And he's clocked billions, him and his family. All of his little billionaire buddies in the Epstein clique, they've all capitalized and made bread. Everybody else is sitting back suffering. And then they go back and just say, well, print more money, get more money from Congress, because we're going to act like, we're deeply engaged with a terrorist regime who wants to build a nuclear bomb to blow up America and Israel. and ain't none of it's adding up. So they said, scripture said, money answers all things. This is what happens when we ain't got no damn money. All right. So it says the Lincoln and its more than 5,000 servicemen have spent more than 250 days at sea since leaving San Diego last November, diverted to support the war with Iran. Navy families have described collapsing morale and suicidal ideation on the ship, with one sailor's wife telling Navy Times her severely burned out husband attempted to jump overboard. On August 3rd, a sailor assigned to the carrier's air wing went into rough seas wearing a life vest in what the Navy deemed a mental health episode. According to CNN, he was pulled from the water by a search and rescue helicopter within an hour. And this is what they eat, man. But watch your boy. Watch your boy. He says, hey, what's wrong? Everything's just fine. Matter of fact, they ain't been out there long enough. Watch it.
Family members of U.S. service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS.
Well, no, that ship is moving. No, they're not. That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Has the deployment's gone on too long?
No. Not nearly long enough. Thank you, everybody.
No. Do you see this maniac? He says the ship is moving, nothing's wrong with the ship, but then he's going to double back and say it's being replaced. So he just caught himself in another damn lie. If nothing was wrong with the USS Abraham Lincoln, why are you replacing it? And then you sit back and say, they haven't been out there longer, not nearly long enough. So what does that tell you? If he's saying not nearly long enough, they need to strap in for the long haul. They ain't going nowhere. They're saying that they intend on having a blockade up indefinitely. In other words, another quote unquote forever war, same thing that he swore that he was not going to commit to when he got elected. That's why them Edomites is out there jumping out the windows, tripping, because they like, you said no more wars. You said you was the president of peace. You said you were going to end the Ukraine and Russia conflict in 24 hours. You said you was going to put China in check over Taiwan. What happened? Let me play that one more time. That was good, because he lied right away.
Family members of U.S. service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS Lincoln.
Well, no, that ship is moving. No, they're not. That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Has the deployment's gone on too long?
No. Not nearly long enough. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Not nearly long enough, huh? So they need to stay out there a little bit longer. Starving. So there's no complaints. Nobody tried to jump off the ship. Nobody's writing the home saying how bad the conditions are. You know, who was it? USS Ford. I think they said the toilets was jacked up and all kind of madness jumping up. I mean, come on. Now, here they go. They're tying the two together. Navy carriers problems are tied to attacks on the U.S. base early in the war. So it's being added up that because of the aggressions and because of the war and the attacks that's been happening by Iran, this is the end results. All right. Now, the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln supply problems began soon after the first day of the war, as Iranian missiles and attack drones fell on Navy base on Bahrain. The Iranian attack retaliation for the U.S.-Israeli assault on Tehran destroyed much of the base, and as it went up in smoke, so did major logistics hubs that the Navy has relied on for decades. So, but if you leave it to America, they said that they've completely decimated all of Iran's military, navy, uh, nuclear facilities, their economy is shot. They're pretty much begging for a deal. I mean, come on. The amount of lies is so frustrating. The good thing is that most people, in particular our people, are seeing through it. Sad part is some of my people, they don't care. They just want to eat. They just want to make sure that they're being sustained. Yeah, I know about the war. I don't care about the war, man. I need to make sure I'm eating. But that should let you know. But where's it stem from? It stems from the lies. It stems from you being oppressed. It stems from your oppressors carrying out acts of war and pride that is at the detriment of your food table, of your gas tank, of your job, etc. Now, it says the Navy needed a plan B to continue feeding the sailors, working around the clock to keep warplanes flying strike missions, and later to maintain blockade on Iran's ports. Senator Richard Blumenthal, a Democrat of Connecticut, said in a letter to Defense Secretary Pete Badbreath that the reported problems included shortages of basic supplies and the deteriorating mental health of its crew members. So there you go. Sounds like America's doing great in the war. Now look at this. This is also coming from the same site, Hormuz letter. Whether this is true or not, we'll find out. But they're saying this: breaking Iran warns it's preparing for military operations on U.S. soil. Let me repeat that. Iran warns it's preparing for military operations on U.S. soil following a, quote, new military doctrine tasking the IRGC to attack enemy in its soil. Now, I don't know about you, but if this was true, I'm not declaring it publicly and to be put on X and on the internet to determine my military strategy. If I'm planning an attack on the soil of my enemy, I'm not using Paul Revere, aka the internet, and say the redcoats are coming, they're planning on, So as of today, I'm calling cap. I'm saying this is bull-ish. I'm saying this is BS. There ain't no way. That this is true. But for news sake and not being ignorant of any matter, small or great, I'll put it out there. So they're saying that Iran is preparing to attack the enemy on the soil, adding Iran will take operations into enemy territory, into the enemy's lands, and carry out operations far from its own territory. Now, unless they're declaring, because you know how they play in the media, they'll say, oh, Iran carried out attacks on U.S. troops or U.S. territories. Now, this could be the territories where military bases are set up in other countries, and they're declaring these particular areas as America. Maybe they're playing semantics like that, but it says its own soil, which means they have to be over here in order to make that happen. And if you saw my lesson I did about Genesis 27 and I believe it's 41 about the fatness of the earth and breaking that down, and how America is strategically placed to be kind of like on an island of its own, where they can deal with threats coming from east to west. They've got defenses on both sides, north, south. They can see and understand where any threat is coming from. It's not connected to any land outside of Mexico, South America, or whatnot, or to Canada, where there could be a breach of the border and somebody coming in that way. You got to fly, you got to sail to get over here. And with the technologies and the radar systems and the AI, data collection, they're going to get a heads up wherever they come, however they're coming from. Unless Iran is saying, oh, we got sleeper cells lined up, they're going to commit quote unquote terrorist attacks, then that's something different. Maybe that's possible. But there will not be no Iran riding over here, invading and stepping ground on American soil and not get blown up 500, miles before they even cross the Atlantic. Like, come on. That ain't happening. They ain't even got the military capabilities to make it happen. They'll need help from, China, Russia, etc., to do anything like this. Only thing that they can be saying is this is some terrorist attack. Right? So that's what they're saying. They're going to take operations into enemy territory, into the enemy's lands, and carry out operations far from our own territory. So that should kind of be clear. Far from their own territory. So they're saying it will be far away from Iran. Take that for what you will. RGC Senior Advisor General Mohammed Reza Naqvi says, whenever the conditions are favorable and the order is issued, the conditions are never going to be favorable. And the order is issued, we must be able to take the operation into enemy territory. So they're claiming they're going to go. Yeah, you're right, Naquab. Red Dawn. Yeah. So see how that works. Now, who knows? When you mention Red Dawn, hey, could they do a collaborative effort with Russia? Well, if we leave it to the scriptures, Ezekiel 38 says that the Russian armies and the Persian armies, i.e. Iran, will collaborate together. So again, they can't do it without help. Is it possible? We shall see. Right now, I'm saying this BS. That this ain't happening. No time soon. But we never know. We started off in the beginning saying the time being cut short for the elect's sake. So who knows? He says they're waiting for the order to be issued and conditions to be favorable. So does that mean that they got to wait for Russia to clean up, Ukraine before they can make sure that everything is favorable, everything's a go? Time will tell. We shall see. Something to think about. Let's continue. Now, remember, they're talking about how Iran is broke and all that other stuff. Look at this. The UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates, reportedly released Iran's frozen assets worth billions of dollars. Bitcoin rebounds. So they were saying that this was the UAE offered this money up to Iran in order for them to fall back on any future attacks on them. So Iran, the UAE is like, here, take this money, just leave us out of it. We can't rely on America no more to defend us, to help us. America, we can clearly see, has lost control of the situation. We're hearing rumors that Agent Orange is ready to concede and let y'all have everything as long as you don't build. As long as you open up a strait. So guess what? We're willing to give you. We're going to give you back billions of dollars worth of your gold. Look at this. The UAE has released several $1 billion of Iran's frozen assets held in UAE banks, including 1.5 tons of gold, according to the Hormuz letter and other sources on X. 1.5 tons of gold. Y'all can do the math when you want to. Gold is maybe about $4,300 an ounce, almost $4,400 an ounce. Now, ounces to tons. If you got $4,300 to $4,400 an ounce, and you got 1.5 tons of gold, do the math and see how much that equates to in US dollars. I can't even do the math. That's why I said there's several billions of dollars. Okay, now continuing. The reports claim the reason behind the transfers is that Iran spares the UAE from future attacks, according to multiple senior sources in Tehran with knowledge of the transfers. So the objective is we'll give you back and unfreeze assets held in our banks. Just don't bomb us. So Iran is getting money, getting billions of dollars back, while America is begging for billions and begging and waiting for budgets to be approved. They're getting their money. They're being able to trade assets and utilize the payment system set up by the BRICS to continue on with their business. They've got control of the strait, where they're taxing and allowing ships through that they're doing business with, their allies, people that they're okay with. They're regulating everything, man. And America's eating slop and jumping off of damn boats. All right. Look at it. Trump explodes over Iranian cash demands. A secret attack on U.S. water supply unveiled in the bombshell report. So we've even seen those things. Maybe that's part of the initiative of them talking about doing a attack on a U.S. soil. We've been seeing many of these water supply plants being attacked, sabotaged, and cyber attacked. So there's different ways that they're carrying out supposed attacks as they're blaming Iran for these things. Who knows what's true, what isn't? We know that the small hats, they don't want no end to this thing, and far be it from them to sabotage something in order to get their objectives met, and then blame somebody else. You know how that works, right? So look at this. President Trump has hit back at Tehran's conditions for reopening the Strait of Hormuz, insisting Iran must first compensate the United States for decades of regime-backed attacks. So we talked about that already. Now, he says, additionally, compensation should be paid to the families of the hundreds of thousands of innocent protesters that Iran has killed over the last 50 years, not to mention the 52,000 that have been killed in the last 5 months, he wrote on Truth Social. So he's doubling back, saying what he wants. This guy is a complete maniac, man. Complete maniac. So he doubles down and says, well, we're not leaving. We're not going to stop the blockade unless you do this. Now, it says the president comments come after U.S. spy agencies have blamed Iran for cyber attacks across more than a dozen states over the last month. In late July, Iranian regime hackers hit a water utility in western Arkansas. As part of a wider campaign, the U.S. intelligence official believes, according to the Washington Post, so, they've been hitting, allegedly hitting water plants from Arkansas to California. What was it? 7 or 8 states supposedly were hit with cyber attacks on the water supplies within the last month, So we can see who's touchable and who isn't. Now, here's something else, right? By now, everybody's heard and known about the earthquake in Colombia. We've been pretty steady with documenting and chronicling all of these major earthquakes that have been hitting within the last 2 months. Do you know that there's been, I think they said, I think they said there's been over 7 or 8 earthquakes documented that have registered 7.0 or greater within the last 2 months. At least, let me see. I want to make sure I'm right on that. How many 7+ earthquakes let's see. Two 7 have been recorded in the last 60 days. Colombia, Chiapas, Mexico. There's been more than 2. That's cap. You just had Indonesia today. This is 24 hours. I just read somewhere. I mean, yeah, Fiji. See, they let's see, significant world earthquakes in the last 7 days. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got 10. Well, now, okay. 7.0, you got 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I seen the article. Anyway, I'm catching y'all up. Okay. The crowd put down, there have been 18 7.0 and up earthquakes this year. Well, there you go. I know I read it was multiple. Not this. And in particular, there was one article that I just seen that said that it was like 6 or 7 within the last 2 months. But maybe it's not the 2 months. But nonetheless, we see and everybody knows what's befalling this place, right? Second Ezra. Let's read verse chapter 9. We're gonna go right to the point. Second Ezra 9 and 1 down to 3. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So everything that we're seeing going on the earth, from the fires to the earthquakes to the droughts to the floods, this is the Most High visiting the world which he made, right? This is part of the prophecies that he's going to lay down. That's why he said, when I see as part of the signs past, when these things start happening, we just had the solar eclipse, the what was it, Thursday or Wednesday? I believe it was Wednesday. Solar eclipse, signs and wonders in the skies and whatnot. I mean, all of this we're seeing transpire in real time. Now it says, therefore, then there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of people in the world. So there's no doubt that we're seeing uproars and earthquakes transpiring. We're going to read a little bit in this Isaiah, so bear with me. Just follow along. Isaiah 24 in the 5th verse. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So due to the fact of our transgression, the covenants that the Most High made with us and the earth, everything is gone out of whack. You know, that's why the earth is even waiting for us to get back right. What's that in Rashab Elder? Is that's in 2 Corinthians 8? Is it 8 or is it I think it's 2 Corinthians 8 or Romans 8, where it said the earth is greatly paraphrasing, the earth is even waiting to be restored back. Elder, if you got that one for me, throw it in the chat for me. I'm trying to remember that one. But nonetheless, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So we see the defilement of the earth. The earth is not getting its 7-year rest as the law commands. It's constantly being pillaged and plundered and divided up. It's being defiled with the chemtrails falling on the earth from the aluminum and the barium salts and everything else falling down on the earth. You know, they got they spreading the damn ticks and dropping them all over the place on the cattle. I mean, you name it, man. Everything is jacked up. Therefore, have the curse devour the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. There you go, Romans 8 and 20. That's it. And we're gonna go there next. Matter of fact, let's get it right now. It's Romans 8. What Now, Romans 8:20 says, for the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberation of the children of the Most High. No, that's not it. Oh, no. Verse 22, that's the one. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. So the whole creation, that's including the earth, is travailing and in pain until now, waiting for our deliverance, right? waiting for us to get our spirits back in order to be redeemed. So remember, and even in Revelation 11 and 18, it says that what? For the 18 in Revelation 11, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints. So clearly, reward is being given to the servants and the prophets and to the saints, all of Israel descent. Thus saith the Lord, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and what shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. So when we calculate and we see who's done more damage when it comes down to their nuclear testings, rape and pillaging the lands, destroying the minerals and pillaging caves and extracting minerals and utilizing it for warfare, from the silver to the gold, you name it. He's got the sweatshops over there in the sweat caves over there in Africa. They got them laboring for the lithium to get out so they can keep the batteries charged, and you name it, man. He's doing all of these things, destroying the earth, from the air, the food, the water, etc. Y'all know we've been speaking about ad nauseum regarding what he's been doing. But the Lord said he's going to destroy them which destroy the earth. Now, getting back to Isaiah, it says, therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. So because of the judgment that's going to be happening upon the earth is going to become more desolate. It's going to become more or less reliable to be sustainable for us. And it says that the earth is going to be burned, and few men left. So the earth is going to go through a purging via fire. So not only is it going to come through the fervent heat that's going to be burning through the nuclear destruction. The chariots also said that they're going to destroy and burn up those as hiding behind the bushes, eating swine's flesh in Isaiah 66. You're also seeing with these fires that's been happening all throughout Europe, all in America as well. So resources, homes, farms, all getting destroyed, right? Now it says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, and the merry-hearted do sigh. So there's going to be a shortage of supplies on wine and drinks of merry and things of that nature. Those things are going to be languishing. Drink sources. The mirth of tabrets ceased, the noise of them that rejoiceth ended, and the joy of the harp ceases. So the good times rolling, everybody happy, everybody joyous, everybody having a good old time. The party's going to be over, in other words. When these things really start impacting the earth, the passport bros loving to go to Colombia and Venezuela, and you can see now, most eyes collapsing, hitting them places up, saying that this ain't going to be the place of partying and hanging out no more. Medellin, with the coke and all that coming out, all that's going to be done with. Okay? They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drinketh. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. So, where's the city of confusion? The city of Babylon, this great city, America, and the Americas, South Central, Caribbean islands, Canada. This is all part of the Americas. This place is going to be broken down. Every house shut up, no man may come in. There is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. And we can see that now. We've seen the statistics of people talking about how much less confidence they have in America now. They got less confidence in politics anymore. Less confidence in the dollar now. You understand what I'm saying? That whole, this is the land of milk and honey. This is where your dreams can be fulfilled. The American dream, all of that has become nightmare. In the city is left desolation. The gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. Did you hear that? Let me read that again. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking. What's that mean? Oh, quaking. earthquaking, shaking, as an olive tree, as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. So what's that mean? The gleaning grapes, you shake something and things start to fall in? They shall lift up their voice. Thou shalt sing for the majesty of Yahweh. They shall cry aloud from the sea. Oh, yeah, now they want, God help us. Oh, Dios mío, help. Wherefore glorify ye Yahweh in the fires, even the name of Yahweh, the power of Israel in the isles of the sea. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs, even glory to the righteous. But I said, my leanness, woe unto me. The treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. Fear and pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth, watch this, from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken into the snare. So there's not going to be any escape for those that's been into wickedness and all of that. When the Most High brings these destructions, there's not going to be anywhere to turn. When we want to cry to the Most High and all that, what was it? In Hosea, the Most High said that in our affliction, we're going to seek him early, but he's not going to be found. It's a little too late. Let me see. That's in Hosea 5:15. Yeah. Notice this. It says, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early. That's, when things go bad, that's when Israel want to go seek the Most High. That's when we want to cry to the Most High. That's when we want to praise and glory him. When things is all bad, the Most High said, only in their afflictions will we start trying to seek him early. Our objective is to do it now. We're not waiting. Okay? Continuing on. It says, and it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall come into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. So what is it talking about? Most are talking about massive earthquakes hitting. And the destruction and the things that happen unto the wicked, unto our people. And why are we going through these particular things? We'll read one more precept after that. After this, verse 20, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. If anybody's been involved and you've been in the earthquake, that's exactly how it feels. That swaying, that wobbling, that's exactly what them earthquakes be feeling like. You try to stand up and you trying to hold your balance, you holding on to something, you get to wobbling and feel like you nauseous. Like the earth is nauseous. That's exactly what it is. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. So when we see these judgments based upon what's going on with the earth, when you see earthquakes in Japan, earthquakes in Indonesia, Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, the Philippines, diverse places, for real, Papua New Guinea. I mean, the list goes on and on. Well, that was just a few. I mean, what I miss? I said China. I said Japan. You got China. You got the Philippines, Mexico. We made mention of. That's just a few, right? Now, let's get this back over in 1 Peter 4:17. It says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. So this gives back more credence to us understanding when Christ told us that the elect have to be sealed, or for the elect's sake, time will be shortened, right? Isaiah told us there's going to be a remnant that's going to return back. So us being more closer to that means that more judgment is going to be coming near unto the house of Israel. Because why? It's got to begin there first. So when we're seeing earthquakes and judgments happening in Colombia, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Colombia, here in the States. Look, Haiti. Didn't they just got to tell them 450,000 Haitians get out, go back to Haiti where there's nothing left for you. You understand? So the Most High is going to be dealing with it. We're going to face the brunt of the afflictions first. That's why Jeremiah 30 classified a particular thing known as Jacob's trouble. It ain't talking about the whole earth's trouble. No, there'll be a targeted trouble just for us. Why? Because the Most High is going to have to continually purge out and sift out the lumps and the clumps from the fine, refined silver and gold that's gone through the affliction and the times of purging. So that's begin. This is beginning now. But the time has come, the judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end of them that obeyed not the gospel of the Most High? So imagine if we catch in hell like this, you should already know what's going to happen to the nations. Colombia earthquake sparks civil war fears as group threatens an insurrection. So not only are they dealing with the aftermath of this devastating earthquake that they had to go through, now you've got a guerrilla group over there talking about they're ready to overthrow the government and take over the whole country while it's in collapse. You know, Israel can't get it together, man. When things is bad, they don't band together. They like, this is a great opportunity for us to take over the country. Look at this. A far left group in Colombia has threatened an insurrection after the huge earthquake in the country on Monday. That's why the Most High said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. With a series of messages published on his website, the left-wing National Liberation Army guerrilla group is urging the Colombian population to join a, quote, protest and insurrection against the current government led by Abelardo de Espriella, the conservative president sworn in on Friday. De la Espriella is known for his hardline approach to illegal armed groups operating in the country and previously said they must surrender or face declared, quote, military targets. These groups, however, as reported by The Guardian, have gathered strength and resources in recent years, and the ELN has about 6,300 members between armed fighters and unarmed support. So not only are they going to be dealing with the hundreds that have died over there, the destruction of thousands of homes, businesses, etc., economic collapse. Now they're going to have to deal with a civil war possibly being insurrected and happening over there in this particular country. So if you want to talk about collapse, there it goes. Washington grapples with a National Guard deployment. You know what? Let me say this one. The way I had it lined up, I thought I had it lined up differently. I want to drop down. Where are we at? Because I want to continue on with these earthquakes. We're gonna build it as we. Yeah. Matter of fact, and you're supposed to be up here. That's what happens behind the scenes, y'all. That's how I have to make it happen. Now let me see if this is effective. Okay, so yeah. And here goes some little video evidence of it. I'm sure many of y'all have seen it, but we're gonna play it anyway.
Yeah, this is.
Think back again to what we just got through seeing. It said that the earth is going to sway like a drunkard. Now, look at how people are trying to hold on to things as the earth is just swaying and collapsing right in front of them.
This is what it looked like when the quake hit in the western part of Colombia, about 250 miles west of Bogota.
Colombia's geological service called this Colombia's most powerful earthquake in the last decade. The quake trapped residents under debris and forced others to evacuate their homes when it hit around 7:30 this morning. Now, search and rescue teams are scrambling to pick through the rubble of the collapsed buildings as aftershocks threaten to bring down even more of them. Caltech seismologist Lucy Jones says even though today's quake was a magnitude 7.4, because it was 66 miles underground, the intensity at the surface was buffered a bit. Now, here in Southern California, though, Jones says it would hit much harder.
We are going to have an earthquake this size, and we're going to be closer to it because we don't have deep earthquakes here. We only have the shallow ones, given what our tectonics are. And when you're close to a 7.4, we're talking intensity 9 or 10 shaking.
So with that being understood, you can already see. Did you hear that? 9 or 10 shaking. Now, they've been talking about California being like over 15 years late on the quote unquote big one. The big one, right? When you see the movies like, what's the name of that movie that had The Rock in it? Big earthquake movie. What's the name of that damn movie? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but y'all should know what I'm talking about. The Rock did that movie about the earthquake. And this is why San Andreas, there you go, the water. This is where the fear comes in, especially living here, because we know it's destined. Leave it to the seismologists. I ain't got to do that. I'm just looking at the trends of places that have fault lines that's been going crazy over the last 2 months. And it's been, we've had Myanmar, we've had Indonesia, there's been earthquake, major ones jumping off. There was one, I think, in Myanmar some years back, it killed like 200,000 people. Biblical type numbers. And at that time, I was like, oh, shoot, this might be it. But that was like a glimpse. Matter of fact, y'all might think I'm BSing. Let me make sure. If it wasn't there, it wasn't there. It was in the Middle East. Magnitude 7.0 quake struck Haiti. Yeah, Haiti killed 100 to 160,000 people. They said it was over 300,000. Indian Ocean. Yeah, here we go. 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. Approximately 228,000 was the death toll across 15 countries. Indonesia, Sri Lanka, I said Myanmar, it was the Maldives. I knew it was an M in there. Thailand, yeah. Now, mind you, this one that they were talking about in that just hit in Colombia, they said they felt it all the way in Ecuador. Just like the one they had in Cuba, they said they felt it in Miami. Now you hear this other seismologist, this white woman, she said California's overdue, is going to hit here, and it's going to hit in the 9 or 10. Because of California's, infrastructures and the things they've been trying to work on to try to be more earthquake resistance. You got, the earthquake apps now notifying you, 10 seconds before it hits and all that other stuff. 9 or 10, we'll be dealing with what we're seeing on this, and worse. That's why we have to be in the faith. I mean, yes, we talk about prepping, we talk about trying to, but when some stuff like that goes down, you can't prepare. All your supplies could be gone, buried, destroyed, whatever. Forget about bugging out, trying to ride out and get into your car. That's out. Streets will be hectic, shut down. You have no other options but to be in the faith. You have no other options but to be as prepared as you can and pray that your supplies or whatever you got is sustained. Because when something like this hits, it's over with, man. Okay. Yeah, you talking about Arizona looking real nice right now. Yeah, you ain't got them earthquakes. Yeah, y'all ain't escaping the damn drought and the water prices and that damn heat and some most stuff going on. Everybody's got something going on. But you don't have to deal with this getting woke up at 3 a.m, knocked out your bed and off the couch or wherever, and driving in the damn earth separating, departing in front of you and riding off a damn cliff. Yeah, it's no joke, y'all. No joke. Let's continue. So we see the earthquake in Indonesia, 7.3. So as we see, man, the whole earth is rocking right now. And we ain't talking some little stuff, man. This is week after week, 7-point plus is rocking and destroying the earth. Look at this. Spain getting hit some more. In city of Grenada in Spain, they got rocked. So not only are they getting hit with the fires, they getting hit with the damn earthquakes now. The Most High is even judging and touching them. Remember, the Most High said he's going to destroy them, but destroy the earth. So we know the conquistadors and the history of Spain and the Spanish Inquisition and the Catholic Church, and their reign of terror throughout the earth. Look, the Most High touching them too.
Y caí en Camino de Ronda, mira la carretera, Camino de Ronda, la tormenta, mira, a la 1 anoche, mira, la casa, ahora todo gente en la calle, el hotel tiene gente todo la calle, no entra la casa.
Now, did y'all pick up one thing that the dog owners, that dog was barking for a hot minute before it hit. The dog was already feeling and sensed it. So dog owners, I salute the dog owners, because you better be paying attention when them dogs be barking. Don't be on some shut up. What? You never know. They already know what time it is. The animals be knowing. See all these little Spaniards out here, man. This is a happy little tourist area. Okay. And we already seen her testimony, so we ain't got to deal with her no more. Now here go in the Midwest. Most High touching everything, man. Extreme weather stands in the Midwest and in Indiana. Floodwaters are rising again. So,
and in the Midwest, a flooding emergency. Just take a look at this. High waters submerging cars, homes, entire neighborhoods. Indiana was the hardest hit state, where tens of thousands of people have no power right now. More storms are expected to hit the area today as people are just starting to reckon with the damage already done.
It's all waterlogged, probably trashed. Everything I've worked for my whole life. I don't know. We're just going to take it one day at a time.
Look who's getting hit, though. Look who's getting hit.
Figure it out, I guess.
And for more on this extreme flooding, we're joined now by Ian Lee, who's in Anderson, Indiana. Ian, good morning. It's been a rough week for folks there. How are conditions on the ground right now?
Now, help me out, y'all. I'm trying to figure out, what is this dude standing on? Because here he is, only looking like he's knee deep, thigh deep with water. Do you see where that stop sign is? How is he in the midst of this water? He's got to be standing on a car or something. I have no idea. You see where the stop sign is. As the frame expands, you're going to see roofs of houses behind him.
Hey, good morning, Michael. You know, we've been watching this river rise over the past 24 hours. When we first showed up, the water was just at the foundation of that house behind me. Now it's nearly at the roof. Overnight, the river crested just shy of 25 feet, but that's still more than a foot higher than...
Look at this. What is he standing on? You're at the top of a damn street sign and the stop sign. The stop signs go up at least damn near 8-9 feet. You're at the height of damn roofs. Esau, man, I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying this ain't but what is it? What is this? Okay.
The record set in 1913.
Floodwaters sweep through neighborhoods around Indiana's White River after it rose to record-breaking levels. People in Anderson were ordered to evacuate after several feet of water covered streets and surrounded homes, many of them now unlivable.
I just rebuilt it.
You just rebuilt this 2 months ago?
Yeah.
White River. Interesting.
Well, I've been working on it for about the last year. Now I got in a couple months ago. Now it's destroyed.
Charlie Simmons has lived in central Indiana his whole life and says he's never seen flooding this bad.
I wrote down and cried. Got all kinds of money in this place, man, and it's gone.
The muddy brown floodwater rushed over bridges and covered neighborhoods further up the river, rising over car roofs. The entire state of Indiana is now under a state of emergency.
Every state agency involved has been on alert since we...
So I'm not going to play too much more of this for time's sake, but look, you've got... Now you're going to wait for FEMA to try to come in and rescue them, right? But if you remember back when North Carolina had the flood and all that a year and some change ago, FEMA was broke. They didn't have the resources anymore to try to help. They had issues going on with the tornadoes in Oklahoma and all that, and people was already complaining because that after what happened in North Carolina, the tornadoes and stuff hit in Oklahoma and all that, and people in Oklahoma was waiting for aid, and they were talking about how FEMA wasn't coming to save them. And FEMA was like, you're going to be on your own for a while. We're broke.
It happening in real time.
Farther south, part of this campground caught fire late Wednesday as it flooded. First responders have rescued dozens of people across the region. This night vision video shows one family escaping their flooded home out of a second-floor window and jumping into a boat. In nearby Franklin County, swampy water now covers train tracks and streets.
This is nuts.
And for the second day in a row, several feet of water surrounds homes in Cambridge City. Soaked furniture and other belongings now sit in front yard.
Well, y'all get the picture. Y'all get the picture, right? But that's just part of the construction. Look what happens now. Illinois, Indiana, power outages, gas shortages leading to long lines.
Well, it's a busy and costly day at the pump for so many people between Illinois and Indiana right now. Indiana going through.
Look at these lines. This is not a parking lot. This is people waiting to get gas.
A little bit of a gas shortage and some power issues all across the state. Indiana officials have urged people to fill up in Illinois before coming to Indiana, or residents to come over across state lines to get their gas as they continue to try to get power back up and some of that gas back in there.
Did you hear him say a little bit of a gas shortage? Do you see how the damn news be trying to downplay things and trying to control the narrative and try to control emotions and all that? It's a little bit of a gas shortage. Huh? You talking about a complete panic, hundreds and hundreds of cars waiting for 30, 45 minutes to get to a pump, and there's no guarantee once you finally get there, there's actually going to be gas in there. You're talking third world conditions already here in America, power shortages, gas shortages, food shortages, water shortages, everything happening. When a disaster hits, America is done. Military troops eating slop and mystery meat. Huh? I mean, come on. If we look at the history of Rome and its downfall, economic collapse was one of the main things that took them out. So there you go. If we're talking about America following in paths of its daddy, this place is definitely going to follow in the same paths of ancient Rome. So let's continue and play some more
there, but it's much of the same here in Chicago Heights and some of these surrounding towns around here, where they just don't have many gas stations open right now because power is still out in much of this town. So that's made for some really long lines that you can see right here, people waiting about 30 minutes or more. One woman telling me that she drove to 6 different gas stations around the Chicago Heights area today before she finally found one. And people are also noticing that the price for gas has seemed to go up since yesterday after the storms, and as more people are coming in for gas. Right now, we've reached out to the Illinois and Indiana attorney generals to see if they're investigating anything of that sort because of the price gouging that is illegal from any emergencies that happen, like we've seen from the storms this week. So many people still trying to get their power back up, keep those generators running. We talked to a woman from Indiana who drove all the way over from Dyer because she needed to fill up her generator, her neighbor's generator, and her vehicle. So people just trying to make it work right now. Everyone seems to be working together, but we're keeping an eye on all of this today as people try to recover from these relentless storms that just won't let up here across Illinois and Indiana.
Now, you can already see, man, they talking about now, and that's one hard thing to do. That's why them gas generators could be problematic, because you need that gas to make them things run. And when they run out, you're in trouble. That's why the solar is a better option, because obviously you don't have to be concerned with having to run out and make these particular type of runs. But at the same point in time, you hear them, they crossing state lines, trying to get gas. You see the price gouging that's happening, right? Which they're saying is quote unquote illegal. I know damn well they price gouging because that gas was more expensive than us. In California, got the highest gas prices in the country. $5.99 for regular, all that. I know damn well they raising up the prices and gouging. But we're not paying $5.99. Well, it's over $6 in certain places. Other places, your Supreme is maybe about $5.89, $5.59, somewhere around there. So you can see what happens when desperate times call for desperate measures. Those who got the resources, they're gouging the prices and jacking people up to where you can't afford the stuff. So imagine this is going to happen with food. It's going to happen with water. It's going to happen with gas and energy. Whoever's got it is going to be exploiting it. And that's what's going to make people go crazy and say, you know what, the hell with it, I'm just going to take it. until it's gone.
Well, it's a busy.
As we see here, knowing this is part of the problem or this is on the horizon, Agent Orange says, oh, we got to keep the National Guard on deck until the end of his term. Oh, yeah, 2029, they want the National Guard to be deployed in Washington and stick around. It's been 12 months since President Trump announced a crime emergency in Washington, pledging to make the city safe and beautiful and deploying the National Guard. But a mission that seemed temporary has been extended through January of 2029. Residents and a new cadre of local officials see in it an unacceptable attempt by the federal government to restrict the heavily Democratic city's autonomy, and a year in still question why having troops on the streets of the nation's capital is necessary. So he's ramping up security there in DC and plans on keeping the National Guard deployed all the way through the end of his term, all the way into January 2029. Now he's supposed to be out January 2028. Now he's already threw it out there. Give the next person another year worth of security. What is he expecting to go down? You can see what's going to go down. As he said, bedlam if you ain't got the gas and the oil and the food and everything else. Most he can do is, well, I gotta protect my own and my city. And that will extend to the rest of the country when things really get out of hand. This is just the groundwork. Look, Cubans find rest on rooftops as blackouts drive them from home. So Cuba, they're dealing with blackouts. It's so hot over there, people can't even sleep in the house. They're going outside, sleeping on their roofs. Look at it, trying to catch a breeze. Every night when summer heat and blackouts make sleep impossible at home, Cubans head for rooftops, porches, and public spaces where they can catch a breeze. Can you imagine? Because of blackouts, people would rather sleep on rooftops, porches, public spaces, i.e., out there on the concrete like some damn homeless people, because outside is more comfortable than being inside. Can you imagine when that's becoming more normal? Where Esau can cut the power out, drive you out to where you are out on the streets and comfortable. You know, the Klaus Schwab said you're gonna own nothing, have nothing, and be happy. Only time I can remember that going down is during slavery. And I'm not saying brothers and sisters were happy, but guess what? We were still singing in them fields, still making something out of nothing, same way that we do now in the hood, coming up with new cultures and hip hop and breakdancing and jazz and blues, and coming up with, you know, different recipes and innovations with agriculture. And we make something out of nothing, man. We make hell look good. That's one of the problems with Israel, is that because of the spirit that's within us, we know always how to make something out of nothing. We're survivors. So that when you tell our people we're in captivity, we're in hell, they like, well, what you mean? I ain't in hell. My TV's on. I was able to just go buy a 3 for me at McDonald's, and you know, I'm listening to my favorite jam, and I got a eighth of weed in my pocket. I'm good. That's the problem. So here they go. Jake is sitting up here saying, yeah, it's hot as hell in here. We got a blackout. We ain't got no power, but I'll go sleep on the roof. And I'll be all right. You know? And that's bad news, man. Where they're getting afflicted. But remember, we said, the Most High said, judgment must begin at the house of the Most High first. Here's more judgment. Esau ramping it up, him living by the sword. Electric shock gloves that ICE now are going to be given to their officers for work.
Basically, you put it on just like any glove. You know, right now they're off. I can touch it. You know, they strap on, and basically you got a power button that you hit. It lights up, and then it's active. it basically takes all your focus off everything that's going to basically where you're getting grabbed at. And then as soon as you let go, it's gone. There's no marks that's left or anything like that. And it lets you get the control of the person to where you can get them in a safer location. It doesn't incapacitate a person like a taser. I'm sure several people have seen taser videos where you hit somebody and they fall on the ground and stuff like that.
Oh, no evidence, huh? You get control of the person.
Yeah, and get stiff. This has no incapacitation with it.
That's a lie.
I can touch anywhere on my body. If I was to grab hold of my hand, which I'm not going to do, I've already experienced it. I don't want to put myself through it. It doesn't feel the best. But sometimes when you put them on, you tell them these are compliant. It's just nice to know it's more predictable the outcome you'll have with it, because I know if I have to physically use these, I know that there's not going to be any lasting effects on the inmate.
So do you see how he just lied? He says it doesn't incapacitate the person and all this other stuff. And he said, I'm not going to touch myself because I've already felt it. Okay. Think he's... He says not like a stun gun and all this other stuff, right? Okay. Well, let's see something. Let's see something.
Drill back with the glove. Hey, my name is Jeff Nicholas. I'm the founder of Compliant Technologies, and we're here with Deputy Grobrecht from the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Department. And so today we're going to do a demonstration of what we call CD3 technology. CD3 stands for conductive distraction.
Okay, so Naquab, you made a mention of that. I get it. I've seen the same reaction to people that got hit with a stun gun. Is this different? Let me know. Let me rewind it. Because when he got touched with that, when he got touched with that damn glove, his ass hit the ground just like a damn stun gun.
The glove. Hey, my name is Jeff Nicholas. I'm the founder of Compliant Technologies, and we're here with Deputy Grobrecht from the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Department. And so today we're going to do a demonstration of what we call CD3 technology. CD3 stands for conductive distraction and de-escalation device. It's technology that most agencies can now use and soft empty hand control to de-escalate.
So you're saying that the gloves hit the what do you say? Hits the nerves, but the taser hits the circulatory system and lock up your nerve. Or just electric current to cause it. Okay. I just look at the reaction. Both of them I done seen make somebody hit their knees and lock up. But the feeling and what it affects, yeah, I get what you're saying. Nonetheless, all I know is they're going to be grabbing 10 tribe women, children, men, and going to be torturing the hell out of our people with no remorse, especially after we've seen the report that the FBI has been told that they're not going to investigate any more cases surrounding ICE and any of their folly. So they're going to be having fun. Kids in a candy store strapping up with these gloves, acting a damn fool.
Situation.
Let's look at a couple more before we get out of here. Europe's great rivers are dying. The continent is in for a shock. Yes. So we're seeing massive droughts happening as flooding is happening over here. Droughts is happening in Europe. Fires is happening in Europe. They're getting hit upside the head. All praise to the Most High that the Most High is rendering judgment upon the heathen. Job 24:19 reads, drought and heat consume the snow waters. Yeah, in those particular areas in Europe, from Portugal, Spain, England, Germany, these places are known to have cooler weather climates, the Swiss Alps, all this other stuff. Not saying Switzerland's getting hit, but these are places that are known to have cooler weather patterns, cloudy days, rain, etc. They're not used to this heat. That's why when they're getting hundreds of thousands of people having to be evacuated, whole lands being destroyed, homes being decimated, people are dropping dead in the thousands because of this particular heat. That's in these particular areas, right? But the Lord said drought and the heat is going to consume the snow waters, so doth the grave those that have sinned, right? Now also, Jeremiah, in Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah also prophesied that there was going to be a drought upon all those who were taken up with idol worship, graven images, wickedness, etc. Jeremiah 50 and 38, a drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. So America is going to get hit with a drought. We know that America, I showed the map of America's drought. Damn near every state is experiencing some sort of drought, some more extreme than others. The only places that had slight droughts was like in Montana and Idaho, a couple of them little places like that. But the majority of the country is under some form of drought, especially Colorado, Arizona, California, Nevada, real bad, where they're introducing new water usage laws and everything. So this place for sure is a land of graven images and mad upon their idols. But let's not forget its descendants coming from Europe, i.e. Britain, Spain, Portugal, etc., are all getting hit with the same things. Let's look at this article. All across Europe, shipwrecks and skeletons are rising from the deep. Near Provoho, Serbia, Nazi ships scuttled in 1944 now lie broken back on sandbanks. In Croatia, a 1930s cargo ship protruded from the water on the newly exposed riverbed of the Danube in Bulgaria. What local experts say is most likely part of the skeleton of an ancient mammoth was found scattered across the sand like discarded bones after a giant's picnic. So look what they're saying. They're finding archaeological findings based upon the droughts hitting, and carcasses are being found, ships are being found. That's how bad this drought is hitting over there. Much of Europe is in the middle of a severe drought, and major rivers have been reduced to a fraction of their usual size. Europe's second longest river, the Danube, is now facing record lows, recently measuring just 9 inches deep in Budapest. Part of Italy's mighty Po River is also at a record summertime low, and the Rhine, a major outlet for trade flowing from the Alps. Oh, remember that? Remember I said the Swiss Alps? The Alps mountains that are known for the snow, and the Lord just got to saying where the snow is, that's going to be melted. The Rhine, a major outlet for trade flowing from the Alps to the North Sea, is now shallower than at any time since records were being kept. Again, prophecies are happening daily. End time prophecies happening daily. Oh, we've got another escaping from the Republican plantation. Another one that ran out. And this one's so cold. His little lying mouthpiece, Caroline Levitt, she says she can't take it no more. I'm out of here. The press secretary, Caroline Levitt, is leaving the Trump administration. Mind you, again, this dude has only been in office for a year and 8 months, a little more than a year and a half. You got everybody from Christy Nome, from the head of ICE, head of the FBI, then jetted, multiple military generals leaving. Carolyn Levitt is White House secretary, she's out. Elon Musk then ran. And he's talking about Iran's complete infrastructure is destroyed. They've got no generals, no military, nothing. I can't tell. America is the one. America is the one where everybody's heading for the hills. Rats jumping off the sinking ship. You dig what I'm saying? White House press secretary Caroline Levitt, the youngest person to hold the role, will leave the Trump administration at the end of the month to spend more time with her young family. Oh, isn't that special? Levitt, 28, called it, quote, a bittersweet decision in a social media post Wednesday, shortly after President Donald Trump announced she would be stepping down. She recently returned to the White House podium after the birth of her second child, a daughter named Viviana, in May. She also has a 2-year-old son. The truth is, since returning to the White House after the birth of my daughter, I felt in my heart that I cannot be the best mom my 2 young children deserve while devoting the constant time, energy, and attention required of the White House press secretary. And that is why I have ultimately made the bittersweet decision to depart the White House and embark on a new chapter in my life. Yeah, the new chapter isn't necessarily just her trying to be a stay-at-home mom. They talking about she's already fielding offers to join Fox News and some more stuff. Yeah, you're exactly right. Subsequently, they was on her head for that whole jet incident. So they'd be playing games, man. But look, they all leaving the Republican plantation, just like when Slow Biden was in office and there was a black exodus, all the black folks in there, they was like, oh, he ain't for us. We out of here too. People are starting to realize and see through the politicians and their lies, man. And we're seeing the collapse of this administration in America right before our eyes. Now, this one I'm gonna cover, but I'm gonna double back maybe and pay a little bit more attention to it. And I might just isolate this one because this is important. It goes along with everything I've been talking about regarding the beast system, the mark of the beast, all that other stuff. The digitized prison that they're, embracing or encompassing everybody with. The wearables. And I made mention about that being part of the biometric reasonings that, Esau will be introducing to make people more comfortable with the idea of being tracked, traced, monitored, regulated by having these wearables. Oh yeah, it's just about my Fitbit. It's keeping up with my footsteps, my heart rate. No, slow down, slow down. Now look, the cutthroat wearables battle is about more than tracking your fitness. All right. Google, Apple, Samsung, and upstarts like Aura are racing to integrate data from their wearable devices into the healthcare system. So, what's this saying? That they are working on deals to integrate and to negotiate with healthcare systems, meaning hospitals, clinics, so forth and so on, where data will be shared with all of these particular outlets via your wearables to where they can track everything from your skin temperature to your locations to what you've been eating, regulating your calorie count, all this other stuff, right? And everything's being reported and taken back to your healthcare provider. Now, if you remember, let me back up. I'm gonna slow it down because I want everybody that's still here paying attention. And if you remember, when I showed it, and I've shown this multiple times, right? What's at the top of this? Now, hold on. Let me make sure that y'all understand what I'm talking about. The WEF, Young Global Leaders, Swiss Policy Research. WEF is the World Economic Forum, right? These are the ones who was in control of the World Health Organization, the CDC. They're dictating policy for multiple countries throughout the earth and how to create a sustainable world for everybody, right? Guy Klaus Schwab, yes, he stepped down, but you got more demons in place taking the throne so they can create a digital beast system to control the remnant of the people who have survived their hell and torment after the plague that they release, or after the poison of the food systems, or after they go and seize lands via eminent domain from these data centers and all of that, like Agenda 2030, etc. So if y'all are on board, you know what I'm talking about. WEF, digital identity, right? What's at the top of the list? Healthcare. The digital identity is the objective for everybody to be able to be put into a social petri dish, if you will, that will create biometric identities for everybody. You ain't got to worry about your social security. No, all that will be integrated into a digital form, right? So now you won't be able to function in society if you are not part of this digital identity, this new quote unquote world. This is the thing that they're trying to establish. Everything will be based digitized. And if you see through gradualism, they're slowly but surely easing everybody into comfortable positions where it becomes more of convenience. As technology is cool, the AI, everybody's buying into it. So it's not going to be something where they just hit you in the face and say, you know, troops on deck, SWAT teams at your door, take this or else, and da, da, da. No, they gradually are easing everybody in. I always utilize the analogy, or not even the analogy, the reality of you got let's say direct deposit. For those of us who were still working pre-direct deposit in the 90s and all that, and you was getting physical checks from your boss. You had to wait till the mailman came in on that Friday, you know, 10, 11 o'clock to get your check, and then you had to go to the check cashing place. You had to go to your bank. You had to physically deposit your money. You got it in your hand. Slowly but surely, everything they started introducing, oh, direct deposit. No, we can digitally transfer the money into your account, and we'll mail you a copy of your check in the mail. Don't worry, it's there. A lot of people's holding up. No, I like it in my hand. I don't want to. Nope, I want to be responsible for depositing my money. I want to make sure I see it. Them same people eventually said, you know what? I ain't got time to be running to the bank after this. I'm tired. Is it there? You know, they used to even reward people if you had. I remember on my old job, if you banked with their credit union that they was, you know, affiliated with, you would get your check early. You would get it like on a Wednesday or a Thursday instead of Friday. So these particular things helped everybody say, oh, this is a lot easier. Now it's damn near impossible for you to get it, a physical check mailed to you. Everything is like, oh no, everything's digitized, right? And people just went along with it. You know, first it starts off with the beepers, then it starts off with the minute cell phones, then it turns into, you know, the full blown phones that we got now. Then it's the AIs on the phones. All the apps is already downloaded. You can't get rid of the apps. Oh, that ain't enough. Now you got a security measures. You can use your fingerprint, use your eye, open up your phone. You see how people automatically starts? This is cool. This is nice. This is great. The new cars, push button start. Oh, the cars got Wi-Fi. The cars got OnStar to track everywhere I'm going, and it can talk to me if I get shut down. You see how everybody starts acclimating themselves into saying this is the new norm. Oh, this is cool, right? So not to make a long story shorter, or to make a long story longer, you see here, right? Healthcare for users to access insurance. Do you understand? It says for users to access. If you have insurance, you will not be able to access your insurance unless you have this digital ID on deck, unless you're part of this system. Access insurance, treatment to monitor health devices, wearables. Hello? For care providers to demonstrate their qualifications, your financial services, your bank accounts, carry on online financial transactions, food and sustainability, travel, humanitarian response, e-commerce. Oh, you want to shop online? You want to be, see that, you know, that's how some people be thinking, if it ain't physical thing, I can always go online and buy my. No, you can't. If you notice how many things now are requiring passwords, two-step verifications, many times they want you to have your fingerprint on deck as part of your verification. You got 1,000,001 questions. Oh, let us send you a 6-digit code to access your account. Everything's going to be integrated into you personally. So there won't be no, well, I can't go to the local grocery store. They won't accept it, so I'll just go online. That's the way I'm going to avoid the mark. No. Everything is locked down. Everybody loves and addicted to the social media platforms. You won't be able to access any accounts or be involved in that matrix of a world without it. E-government, you can't get to your taxes, social, you know, your social security benefits unless you got it. You got to be locked in on the telecommunications. Can't use your phone. All that. All smart cities coming in and out. All right. Can't do it without all of this. Now, let's bring it back to reality. Or continuing reality, I should say. Look, Google, Apple, Samsung, upstarts like Aura are tracing the integrated data from the wearable devices into the healthcare system. Do you see how that picture I just said, that's years ago. Now we're in 2026 and it's happening. This is the health maxing future that the $44 billion global wearable industry is rapidly manifesting as a swath of smartwatches, smart rings, and smart bands offer new takes on tracking health and fitness data. Since the release of the pioneering Fitbit tracker in 2009, consumer interest has powered the category, but what has caught the attention of venture capital firms and some of the biggest companies in the world, including Apple, Samsung, Google, all part of the global grid, they all got it, one way or the other, you locking into one of them things. Which paid $2.1 billion for Fitbit in 2021 is a vision that could be even more profitable. The end goal is to be part of the medical ecosystem, said Jatish Ubrani, an industry analyst with IDC, a technology research company. It's a very lucrative market to be in if every hospital and doctor recommends one of these devices. Hello? Every hospital and doctor recommends one of these devices. If you read later on in the article, they're talking about how your Fitbit or your wearable can help you to open up your iPad or your laptop and all this other stuff, man, sending signals to your doctor, and they make it sound cool. Oh, you could be on vacation, you're having a little heart issue, it sends an alert to your doctor taps in, hey, what's going on with your heart? Yeah, maybe you need to take this. And they always try to make it sound like it's convenient and it's so cool, but no, meanwhile, they're tracking everything. Oh, your calorie count is up. We're going to restrict you from buying meat. Or you can't do this. You can't do that. Oh, you're not going to be able to have your favorite drink anymore because, oh, the AI tracker and your wearables are saying this is a danger to you. Your freedoms is pretty much over. It starts with the healthcare. It starts with your insurance, your access to particular healthcares. If you're not locked in, you can forget about it. So you can already see all those things of convenience, the Apple Watch, the Aura, the ring that you put on, because you don't want to wear the obvious Apple Watch or the Fitbits and all the other stuff. Well, they got rings now. That's the Aura. Put it on your ring, on your right hand. Okay, you don't necessarily have to have nothing implanted in some chip put in you. People are comfortably willing to wear track, traceable, monitor, digitized equipment on themselves. You ain't got to put it in. People want it on them. You ain't got to force somebody to shove something in you. And that's where the deception is. That's why he's the devil. He made it obvious. Everybody line up, get your chip in your right hand, in your forehead, or you're dead. Or is it easier to say, no, this is cool. This is easy. No, just put it on. Oh yeah, this is so cool. Hey, look what it's reading. Look what it said. Look at my temperature. Look at my steps I took. Oh, it's counting my calories. And notice I say the health maxing future. That's a whole term right now that's going on. That's trending about people that are, in particular, the men that are overly concerned with their look and their aging. You know, Esau's running around spending millions of dollars trying to battle anti-aging techniques and surgeries and procedures and fitness tips and all kind of stuff, trying to extend their life. That's what they're calling health maxing, right? And now that it's becoming trendy, now people are becoming more concerned with and more consumed with how they look, you know. And that's where 2 Timothy 3 says that in perilous times is going to be happening where men shall be lovers of themselves, you know. And that's what's going on. So with that being understood, I know it was a lot, y'all. I know it was, you know, trying to digest things, but you know, that's how I go. Over here at DSTM, you're gonna get a whole lot. Yeah, you're right, Lahab. The glasses too. The what do you call them? The things that everybody wearing now. They used to call the Google glasses, but now the Ray-Bans, whatever they are, man. that's out there, you know, with the cameras on them and everything else, man. They calling, you can make a call with your glasses, everything else, man. I mean, that's your forehead too. I mean, yeah, Meta glasses. Thank you, subsequently. The Meta glasses, I mean, it's all here. It's all here, man. So prayerfully, man, everybody got some edification today, man. Got some good information. Lord willing, it hits your spirit as it hit mine, and you send it and share it to other brothers and sisters who need this information, right? They're concerned about their soul, the households, salvation, and want to understand more about like what's going on, how they relate to these scriptures, man. Send this along to them people, man. And tell them they better get with it to get gone. With that being said, I'm going to get gone. We got closing Shabbat class coming up 4:15 later on today, MOTC. Make sure you tap in, tune in, and support the channel by wiping your feet, man. My sister put out there, she said, there's 30 people in the chat and we ain't got the like buttons up like that, man. What's going on, man? You know, I don't usually like panhandling and asking for support, but god dang, man. I ain't over here asking for no money. All I'm saying is, hey, if you hit that thumbs up and you hit continuous interaction with this video through your comments and etc., that tells the algorithm, hey, people are interested over there with what he's talking about. We'll send out some more notifications. We'll put the video up in a little bit more visible sight for people who are looking for end time prophecies, people looking for current events. And that way it helps spread the channel. All right. So with that being said, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh. And as always, fear the Most High, keep the commandments, don't shoot the messenger. See y'all in a little while. Shalom.